Hello. May God be with all of you who are listening. First off, I want to thank you for listening. And two, I want to say just what a wonderful day it is. Even though it's about to rain outside where I am, I'm alive. I've got God in my life. So it's a great day. What we're going to talk about today are secrets and lies. These are two things that are interchangeable that the devil uses in his bag of tricks to not only destroy relationships, marriages, cities, countries, but also, like a roaring lion, he tries to devour the soul, tries to take your soul, bring you away from God. Secrets and lies are interchangeable because secrets are just another form of lies, and lies are secrets. When you lie to somebody, you're secretly keeping what the truth really is. When you tell somebody it's a secret, you're lying to them because you could actually tell them what it is, but you choose not to. People use that for power. People use secrets to sometimes get people to do what they want. When they're little kids, it might be small things, but if they do it a lot and it works out for them as they get older, they'll start taking advantage of people, holding secrets over them, and that can lead to bad things. Because in the end, anything in the dark will come out into the light. So we have secrets and we have lies. When you're under 10 years old, you might tell a lie to get out of trouble, telling your friend, lie just to get what you want. And sometimes you'll get it, but hopefully the lessons learned during that time is you should not lie. Keeping secrets is the same thing. Keeping secrets is a way to have power over somebody. Like I said, when you're a kid, you don't really notice it as much, but as you get older, you understand the power of a secret and the power of a lie. And then Satan gets you from a young age. Satan doesn't care how old your kid is. If your kid is 3 and can talk and starts to lie and keep secrets, he's going to attack. He doesn't wait till they're teenagers. He doesn't wait till they're legally adults. He doesn't care. His job is to take as many souls as he can. So he manipulates the flesh, which is the flesh answers to him in a lot of cases, because the flesh is easily tempted and easily lied to. And since Satan is the king of all liars, and the devil is a liar, we have to be very careful in what we do. Let's take a moment to examine both lies and secrets. Both of them are against God. Both of them are something Christians should not do. You might have an excuse when you're a little kid to do it, but once you become a big kid, almost a teenager, that's when you need to really learn to stop. And especially once you're an adult, that needs to stop if you plan on getting to heaven. So let's look at a lie. Let's say John and Cindy are dating. Ed likes Cindy too, but knows that Cindy likes John. So Ed lies to John about something that Cindy did. Then John believes Ed because Ed's his friend. Then he starts treating Cindy differently. Even just the smallest change in their activity, a person will notice. So eventually Cindy starts talking to Ed because she knows that's John's friend and wants to find out what's going on. So then Ed lays his trap, just like Satan lays his trap. Then Ed and Cindy start to get close. Even if Cindy is still in love with John and wouldn't do anything with Ed in the first place, Ed is still going to try. And they're going to build an emotional bond, which eventually Ed is hoping will lead to something, either her leaving John and being with him, or him getting to basically have her and then give her back to John. Eventually, Cindy will ask what's going on. John will say, well, Ed told me this. And then Cindy will be like, how could you not trust me? Why would you trust your friend when you know he likes me? Or why would you trust your friend instead of coming to me and asking me if this is true? So right there, you spent probably weeks or not months distancing yourself from the girl that you love. The girl that you love is getting closer to one of your friends because she doesn't understand what's going on. And that friend who lied is getting all the power. He's friends with you, and he's trying to get your girl. And you can reverse that to where you have Karen and John, and Cindy's the one that tells Karen something about John. But the point is, eventually the lie will be found out, and the party lied about is not going to be very happy, and they probably won't ever trust again. Or they'll be damaged, and to the point to where they have a hard time trusting people in their life that they do trust, which is going to put up walls and cause them to be lonely and miss out on a lot of life that they can have together with somebody. And Satan's right there smiling because he's done his job. You can lie and say, I'm going to work late tonight, when you're going to see somebody else. But in that case, then you're not going to see them one night. So you have to change your route to work. You have to go somewhere different. You have to put yourself in danger and in new situations just to keep the lie going. Then, because secrets and lies aren't good unless you tell somebody else, you have to tell somebody your lie. Ask them to cover for you. And so they cover for you. Or you ask them for advice. You plan eventually to not have the lie be happening anymore. Either go away, stop what you're doing, or just tell the person. But Satan's biggest trick, at least one of his biggest tricks, is making it come out when you don't want it to. And once it comes out when you don't want it to, it causes turmoil, relationships gone, and depending on how emotionally attached you are and where your level of Christ is as far as how close you are to him, it could be very bad, and Satan knows this. When you let Satan into your bed, believing somebody that's not the person you're with, then your relationship or marriage will fail. Because once he gets in, it's really hard to get him out, especially if you're not close to Jesus and you don't understand how the spiritual world works. You don't understand spiritual warfare. The devil doesn't care if you don't understand spiritual warfare. He's going to attack you anyway, because that's what he does. He's a devil. You can also be at work and you want to get the promotion that your friend is going to get, or someone in the office you don't like. So you lie about them. Not just get the promotion, but also just be mean to them. That lie spreads around because, again, if you lie to somebody about something, it's just that one person, then where's the fun in that? Just like with secrets, you have to tell somebody about it, or make the lie bigger, or do things in order to show that the lie is true. But eventually, of course, the lie is going to come out. That person might not get that promotion and you do. Then they'll find out you lied about them. And then, depending on their mental state, who knows what's going to happen. Because it's just hard to tell with people these days. It's hard to tell what's going to happen. It's hard to tell what they're thinking. Society and Satan, through music, entertainment, the internet, social media, have basically destroyed the sanity of a lot of people and destroyed the family for one, and is still trying to wipe it out totally. And it's just a big plot by the devil to take your soul, because in the end that's what it's about. You not going to heaven, you getting tortured in hell. And I don't think anybody wants to go to hell. But lying basically makes you do different things. It makes you maybe not see that person that day or the next day or the next day in order to keep up the lie. It changes your whole life, and then pretty soon your life is built around that lie as it gets bigger and bigger. But you keep trying to do stuff thinking, I'm going to fix it. Well, again, that's one of Satan's tricks. No, you're not going to fix it, because it's going to come out. And whether you like it or not, it's going to happen when you least expect it. So as a Christian, or somebody who's just coming to God, the first thing you need to break is lying to people. Trying to take advantage of people, hurting somebody else to get what you want. Jesus stood for none of that, and that's not going to get you into heaven. So now let's look at secrets. Secrets will always come out eventually. Secrets can bring people together in the wrong way. They can destroy just like lies do. And if you're not going to lie to somebody, Satan can definitely get you with a secret. So you have a secret and you tell a friend, I've got a secret about this person. And then you and a friend say, we know something you don't know, or something like that. And the other person wants to know, wow, what's your secret? What's going on? And then, of course, as I said, the person will maybe do things that they normally wouldn't do, say things, act a different way, just to find out what the secret is. Or if they do find out what the secret is, they might be, it's no big deal depending on what it is, but they also could be like, you're my friends, why would you say that to each other about me? The problem with secrets is just like lies, you can't just keep it to yourself. If you keep a secret to yourself, then it's not really a secret. You have to tell somebody. And then, of course, that person tells somebody else, and you get the general idea. Basically, before long, the whole school knows. Because Satan is going to use weak-minded people, and some will be your friends, some will be people around you, to sit there and try to destroy your life. If you're not a Christian, even though he doesn't attack you much because he doesn't have to worry about you, he still does. Satan doesn't care. But if you're a Christian, you're getting close to Jesus, he's going to attack you more. He's going to use anything in his arsenal to get you to stay away from God. Not go to church, not read about Jesus, not crucify your flesh, all of that. So, a secret, a family member could tell you something about your husband or wife, and they say, just keep that a secret. So you're knowing this the whole time. The husband or wife are clueless, but you're acting different to them because you know something. And then later on, of course, everything comes out that's in the dark will come into the light. The husband or wife find out. Then they realize that they were betrayed, not only by their family member, but by you, who believe that family member over that person. When you're with somebody, you don't sit there and believe external people. You don't listen to external people. Anybody that says, I've got a secret, stay away from. Because if there's a secret, there's more attached to it. And once you become part of that secret, it might not be so easy to get out of it. And the consequences, depending on what the secret is, could be something that you couldn't even imagine. So as Christians, we should stay away from keeping secrets, from telling secrets, and telling lies. If somebody comes to you and says, I've got a secret, tell them, I don't want to hear it. If you hang around people that gossip about people, try to cause trouble, like to talk about them behind their back, stay away from them. Because I promise you, if they're talking about other people, they're talking about you as well. And it could be for jealousy. It could be for all kinds of things. You never know what's on somebody's heart, and that's another problem. Your best friend could secretly dislike you because you have a better life than they do. Better boyfriend, better girlfriend. You've had better chances in life. You've succeeded where they've failed. They might think that they're, held back by you, when everybody's responsible for their self. If someone doesn't get the job that you get, it's not because they were held back or it's unfair. It's because you were better for the job. Life isn't fair. Life is never fair. But when you keep secrets and lies, you destroy trust. You destroy friendships. You destroy marriages. You destroy families. And the only person that wins is Satan, because he's going to lie to you and keep lying to you. And once you use secrets and lies, you can help open the doors to demons, because you're going to have to do a lot of stuff to keep those secrets and keep those lies. Stuff you probably would never do. Someone finds out about a lie you've told, they blackmail you, they make you do stuff you don't want to do. Same with a secret. When you go into that arena, you're opening yourself up for anything. Someone to abuse you, misuse you, use that secret or lie against you, force you to do stuff you don't want to do, all because you told a lie or kept a secret. Secrets and lies destroy trust. And once trust is gone, no matter what someone tells you, it's gone. They can trust you 99%, but there's always going to be that 0.1% where they're like, I wonder if I can trust this person. Again, Satan wins in that case. He doesn't care if you trust somebody or not. He's just trying to destroy your life and your happiness. And if he sees you on the road to that, he wants, like a roaring lion, to destroy you, to bring you into misery, to make you open doors, to make you come to him. That's his greatest plan. And that's why secrets and lies in general are wrong. Now, we will talk about secrets and lies as it comes to marriage. This part of the message is for Christian marriage. Anyone outside of Christian marriage, you can take the points from here because it works in a secular marriage as well as one from a Christian marriage. But then also there's two types of Christian marriages. There's a regular Christian marriage where people think they're Christian, they're really not, where they make exceptions, so to speak, on certain things that the Bible commands that a husband and wife should do, or how they're going to live their life, which is contrary to what the Bible says, which basically means that the marriage is in trouble, or you're going to settle for somebody that's not truly 100% into you. What this means is that we have Christians and we have real Christians. And even real Christians, ones that are faithful to God, ones that walk with Jesus, can fall some. It does happen. And when it does, because of their faith in Jesus, they can get through it. They understand about lying. They understand about secrets. Then there's the regular Christians who think it's okay because they don't really know Jesus or who he is. They're sitting in dead churches, not understanding why. Everybody just sits there and listens and then leaves, drinks some coffee, listens to a band, maybe does Bible study, maybe goes to like a picnic on Sunday. So let's look at dating. When you start dating somebody, you don't have to tell them everything about yourself. There's no need. You're dating them. You're seeing how it goes. You're seeing if you like being around them. Once you start getting serious, though, you need to consider making sure that they know everything about you. You don't want to wait till the wedding day to drop something on them, or wait till after you're married to say, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. You might think that it'll work to your advantage by not telling them till the very last minute. But if you do that, you don't really love or care about them. You definitely don't want to be their spiritual husband or wife because you're keeping something from them up until the point of day of or after you get married. Trying to think that you'll have such a huge relationship that what you say won't matter. And most of the times, most of the stuff that you will say aren't going to matter. What's going to matter is that you didn't tell the person and they believed up until the point to where you basically start getting engaged. Once you're engaged, you should definitely have no secrets. And right before that, when you're in that period where you're serious and then you actually are really serious, that's when you need to start telling people everything and let them make their choices. Maybe they'll leave you. Maybe they'll stay. In the end, it's up to God what happens. So whatever happens, it's his will. But if you lie to them, keep a secret, don't tell them after you've asked them to marry you, and then after you get married, whichever side you're on, then that's going to be distrust right there. You sowed a seed of distrust. You've then made it to where they wonder what else are you keeping from them. And then, of course, they're going to have family and friends and probably exes. If they talk to them, they're going to get in the way and try to ruin your relationship. All because you didn't tell everything about yourself when the time came. So you kept a lie with a secret. You had a secret with a lie. You might not tell somebody everything that's going on in your life. You ask them to marry you. You tell them a little later when the time is right. After you get married, you still don't tell them possibly until the time is right. But the time is never right. And everything in the dark will always come out. So then the person finds out, and again, they don't trust you. And even if they can rebuild their trust to you, and it's going to take crucifying their flesh every day to get rid of Satan and the enemies saying, why would you trust him or her? And then also dealing with their family members, probably most of them that aren't going to like you anyway. Just waiting for you to screw up, waiting for something to say, hi, I told you so they can make sure either you're with the person they want you to be with, or they want you to stay with them and take care of them so they don't want you to be with anybody, or they're just evil people. They've got demons in them. They need deliverance. And they want to sit there and make your life miserable. That's usually how it goes. And just like when people lie and tell secrets, they set themselves up for people using that against them. when you lie and have secrets from your future husband or wife, you're going to have people use that against you. But it'll be in the open. Or your sister's boyfriend, who she is marrying, tells you something that he's done. You keep it from your sister. Your sister finds out later that you kept it from her. She's going to be upset. He's not going to care. Because if he's telling you a secret about her, he doesn't really care about her. A lot of people get stuck with lust, or they get stuck with emotions, feelings. Usually these are people that don't have God to the degree they need him. Because once you have God in Jesus, he's who you turn to. It's him. It's no one else. If your life goes to crap, it's okay because you've still got him. If that girl leaves you, if that guy leaves you, it's no big deal. You've still got Jesus, and you know he's got you. That he will sit there and bring you the right person. Maybe now just wasn't the time. That's because you put your trust in him. But people that don't trust in God, they're the ones that like secrets and lies. Because they want to use them to try to control things. In the end, it's about control. It's about having control over a situation. It's about having your cake and eating it too. And sometimes that cake is really good. But in the end, it's just something that's going to destroy your marriage. And you're going to allow Satan in your bed, which will allow in demons, spiritual spouses, all kinds of things. Even if you're married for 20 years, there's still going to be that doubt in there. It's not going to be a totally happy marriage. Because one of the parties knows they were lied to, something was kept from them, and then you waited till after you got married or after you asked them to marry you to tell them something that you should have told them right before you asked them to marry you. And during that time, up to that, when you got, really serious about the person, that's when you should really tell somebody. But of course you didn't. And so now you're in that situation where secrets and lies have basically caused Satan to come into your marriage, and he's going to destroy it. And if you get a spiritual spouse, then that person's going to make you go out with everybody else, hate your husband or wife, be mean to them, disrespect them, do everything, but then go out with all these other people. Because the spiritual spouse wants you all to themselves. They're jealous. They're demons. They'll sometimes come in and they'll have relations with you in your dreams. And it's just, once you have these people, it's hard to get rid of them. But once you've lied and kept a secret, and you cause that division when it's found out, there's going to be pain, distrust, and that one of the people is going to be looking for somebody else for help. And they're going to look for other things. And they're going to get involved in things they probably shouldn't be involved in. And that's going to cause doors to open. And then again, the marriage goes from great to horrible. And it's totally avoidable. That's the thing. Most people don't think about their actions before they do it. And again, that happens when you don't have God. There's some relationships where people just keep secrets, everything works because one person gives them something they need, the other person gives them something else they need. But that's more of an arrangement, not a marriage. A marriage is two people coming together as one. No secrets, no nothing. The guy isn't talking to any of his ex-girlfriends or any girls that are friends. The girl isn't talking to any of her ex-boyfriends or boys that are friends. If either one are meeting with another person of the opposite sex, they're always together then. Because they're one. There's nothing that needs to be hidden. There's nothing about that life that needs to be kept and kept away from your husband or wife. If you decide to get married, you become one flesh. If you don't want that, then don't get married. Just date, just do whatever. But don't sit there and say, well, I want this and that. I'm going to have my friends in the marriage. Right, your friends that take you away, that sit there and say bad things about probably your spouse. If they're single, ones that like to go out, meet guys or meet girls, and they want to take you with them, and you being with your husband or wife kind of makes the situation hard for them. And they're going to be selfish, and they're going to be like full of demons, full of the flesh, if they're not demons, because the flesh is worse than demons sometimes. You can get rid of a demon, by getting delivered. The flesh issues, having to crucify and have to tell it no daily, that's tough to do. Even I can attest to that. I do it though, because I know what will happen if I don't. I'll still go to heaven if I sin some here and there, but if I make a pattern of it and I start falling away, I won't. God will be there for me to come back to him, definitely. But then I'm playing Russian roulette because I don't know when my last day is. So if I start doing everything I want to, thinking, oh, I'm saved, everything's great, and then I die before I can repent, guess where I'm going? To hell. It doesn't matter if I spent 40 years being good. The devil is always trying to get you to trip up. Always trying to sit there like the roaring lion, eat you, take your soul. His job is to make your life miserable. And in the end, to get you to take your life, or when you do die, you end up in hell, and he's happy, because that's another soul that God doesn't have. People don't understand just how important trust is. Like I said, it's so hard to trust people these days. You can have a friend, a coworker, your family member, like I said, your husband or wife, and it's hard to say, do you want to trust them? If they don't give you a reason not to trust them, then you should trust them. But once they do something, it's just so hard because there's so many extra circumstances and people that will come into the mix that will basically try to mess up your world. Like, I don't do social media. I have a page for my website. I have a YouTube channel, of course, with this. I have a few things that have to do with God makes all things possible. But I don't do Facebook. I never really have. I don't do Twitter. I never really have. All that stuff is a distraction and just a thing that makes people upset. If you say, I'm going on vacation, and then somebody else thinks you're saying that to rub it into them, even though you're not, or you're going on vacation and the person's like, I want to go, and then they get upset because they see you taking a friend and they wonder why you didn't invite them. And just, you can bully on there. It's easy to sit behind a computer and say what you want and not have to go out there and say it in person, because most of the people that say stuff on Twitter and all these other social media sites in person wouldn't say that because they know they're safe behind their keyboard. And you just have to worry about stuff like that because lies and secrets go easily on those things because you get in touch with everybody around the world. And it's easy to form relationships with people. The best thing is just to stay off of social media if you're married, and even before that. Even if you're single, stay away from it. Getting all these likes on a video you post about what you're wearing or all this stuff trying to get approval, is it going to get you closer to God? It might make you feel happy, but then that means that in order to feel happy, you're going to have people say nice things about you, like your videos, respond to your tweet, be part of your group. You have all these people that are in their house sitting in front of their keyboard instead of going out and doing things. And this was way before COVID, so it's not like anything has really changed. It's just more people, of course, are at home, but it's still the same. Social media is the devil's playground. It's so easy to sit there and take somebody from there. It's so easy to destroy somebody on there. It's so easy to get somebody to play Farmville for 10 hours and only pray for 5. It's so easy to get them to talk to their friends in a group. It's so easy to argue. Do you know when you argue, you lose your anointing? You're not supposed to argue with people. As Christians, we're not supposed to argue, but we do. And then you hear lies and secrets on there, which is where a lot of the arguments come from. So the secrets and lies are basically used on Facebook and other places by the devil to mess with people, especially Christians. The non-Christians, like I said, he's going to come after you too, but he doesn't care as much about you because you're not a threat. Just like when certain people get attacked for their views, most of the time that's because they're a threat to the way someone else thinks. And that's just basically how it works. So on social media, the best thing to do is stay off it when you're married. Don't have it on your phone. You want a Facebook to send pictures to your mom, email her. Or just have her as your only friend on there and block everything. Don't have all these extra accounts. Don't be doing this stuff if you're married, because you're going to have secrets and lies if you do, whether you're a part of it or you're the one doing it. So now we come to marriage. Hopefully you don't have any secrets or lies going into it, but let's say you do. You're married. All right, well, obviously those secrets and lies are still going to continue. The problem is right at that point when you marry somebody and you say you're going to be with them in sickness and health, through good and bad, to love, you're making a commitment not only to them, but to God. You're making a commitment spiritually to them as well as physically. But if you're lying to them or have a secret from them at that point, you don't care about them spiritually or physically. You care about them for your own needs, for your own convenience. Because if you truly love that person, you wouldn't be holding a secret from them. You wouldn't be lying to them. Then let's say you get away with it and then you're married, everything's fine. Well, even if you got away with it, it's still going to come back up because the flesh wants what the flesh wants. And Satan will roar like a lion, roaming around trying to get you to mess up again. And you will mess up. Then you'll have another secret that's going to make you sit there and act differently, make you maybe do things you don't want to do, or a lie, making you sit there and go, like I said, go a different route to work, maybe hang around different people, maybe change up your schedule. And then that could lead you into a lot of trouble that Satan has for you, because had you not have been lying or having that secret, you'd be fine. You'd have the same schedule. You'd be doing the same thing. Your life would also be stress-free because, again, God would be in control. When you tell lies and keep secrets, you bypass God, saying, I'm in control of this person. I'm in control of what happens. And that's prideful right there. That's selfishness, and that's something that's going to get you straight to hell. But that's also going to destroy the person you're with, because everything that is dark will come out into the light. So, when you're married, if you've done anything as a Christian, as a follower of Christ, you need to stop. You need to repent, say you're sorry. You should tell your person what you did, definitely, and just deal with the consequences. But once you're married, then you have to get into dangerous territory, because the person's already in it. So they might say, I'm going to stay in this marriage because I married you, I love you. But then that person in the back of their mind is always thinking. Satan is always going to talk to their flesh. Other people will always talk to their flesh. Family members that hate your guts. Friends that don't like you because you took away their friend. Because they're selfish, basically. They're not happy that their friend found somebody to marry and spend the rest of her life with. They're upset that she's not hanging out with them anymore, or he's not hanging out with them anymore. And then they're going to sit there and try to blame the spouse for the reason why they can't hang out with their friend, and then they start lying, then they start keeping secrets, and they start telling the spouse that's their friend about the other spouse, and just, again, it's a huge cluster. And it all comes back to secrets and lies. And those are the kind of people, if those are friends you have or family you have, you need to cut them off. If you have people that try to make you do something in order to do it their way, like you can't see your grandkids unless you do this and that, or you can't do this or do that, you need to drop those people. It doesn't matter if they're your family, your daughter. If you cater to them and try to make them happy, they're just going to use you again, and they're going to know it's going to work. You want to keep the peace? Great. But then they're just going to keep using you and using you. You have to stay away from those people. You can forgive them, because as Christians we should forgive everybody, but you don't need to keep going back and hanging around them. And hanging around them and hanging around them. If you have single friends who like to go out and party and you're married, you need to get away from those single friends, because they're probably going to be single for a long time because they're going out and partying. Most women and men aren't going to find their husband or wife in a club. And if they do, they're going to have a lot of issues, because then you have drinking and you have all kinds of other activity. So that's not where you find your good Christian husband or wife, in a club, at all these different parties, drinking, doing all this stuff. If you want a true long-term relationship, you want a true marriage. And marriage is about two people becoming one. The person doesn't lose their identity when they marry. They become one. They do everything as one flesh. That's why, like I said, if a guy has a girl that he's going to talk to, then his wife needs to be with him. If a girl has a guy she's going to talk to, whether it's a friend or coworker or whatever, then the husband needs to be with the wife. When you're at work, you don't need to flirt with that new girl or flirt with that new guy. You don't need to get their phone numbers. You don't need to text them. You don't need to add them as friends on Facebook. Because every time you do that, you let Satan into your bed. Because if you were happy with your relationship and you truly followed your relationship through God and you had a close relationship with God, you would know that flirting with anybody or getting their number, even if they ask you, is wrong. That's not going to help your marriage, and that's going to set up for secrets and lies to happen. And then there's Satan ready to get you, ready to destroy that marriage, ready to make you miserable, ready to make people act irrationally. And who knows, the person you're talking to, this new person, could have some mental issues going on there, some demons that need to get out, or physical medical issues. And you're opening yourself, your family, your children, your job into a lot of danger, all so you can enjoy the pleasures of the flesh. Like if you marry somebody and you're like more attracted to this other girl, then you need to crucify that. If you marry somebody and you're attracted to another guy, you need to crucify that too. Looks change. People really don't change. Sometimes they'll realize stuff and change, like if they're saved through God. But if somebody basically likes to mess around on his wife or husband, or her wife, husband, whatever, they're going to still do it. It doesn't matter. They might stop for a couple of years, but it's always going to come back. That urge is there because they haven't crucified that flesh. You can crucify your flesh and keep yourself out of that. But basically, if you and your husband or wife are together, you don't have separate friends, you don't have secrets that you're keeping from each other, you talk to each other, you submit to each other daily, just like Christ submitted to God, so you submit to each other. And what does that do? That means that you come together as one, and that means Satan can't get in there to try to influence you, because he's waiting for you to do it. He's waiting for you not to become together as one, to make an excuse why you can't. And then he's going to sit there and get in between your bed. And then you start getting that friend at work, you start texting. And then you start texting that other person. Then you start calling them. Then whatever is online goes offline. And then eventually your other partner finds out, and they're like, hey, this isn't right. Then you say they're your friends. But then you're keeping your friends from coming over and meeting your husband or wife, because you know for a fact that if you do, there's going to be some jealousy there, which there probably already is. So you're bringing turmoil into your relationship because you don't care about your husband or wife. All you care about yourself. And a lot of people get married and all they care about is themselves. It's great at first couple months is great, maybe first few years. Then they realize, I'm stuck with this person. And that kind of attitude also is something of somebody that doesn't need to be married. But that kind of attitude and that kind of situation where you marry somebody and you don't really need to, or you marry them for the wrong reason, that's going to lead to secrets and lies. Now, if you do find yourself in that situation, you can choose not to have secrets and lies. You can choose to crucify your flesh. You can choose to submit and give up some of the fun stuff you want to do for your marriage, for your vows to God, if you truly want a marriage. The Bible makes roles for women and men very simple. A man's not supposed to take over some of the woman's roles, and a woman's not supposed to take over the man's roles. If you live by those rules, everything should be fine. It's when you try to tweak them and say, we're going to make our own, we're going to define this our own way, that you screw it up. Because then people are doing roles that they're not meant for, that they weren't made for. Now, of course, if you don't believe in God or any of this, then none of this is going to matter. But like I said, this isn't for you. I'm happy if you listen and get some advice, but this is for Christians. These are people that decide to have a Christian marriage and live a Christian lifestyle and get closer to Jesus so they can get to heaven. Because in the end, it's all about getting to heaven. Your husband or wife isn't going to get you there. Your friends aren't going to get you there. Only you can get yourself there. And all you have to do is read the Bible and get to know Jesus. Start having a relationship with him daily. You don't need to listen to me. You don't need to listen to any priest. Don't need to listen to any pastors, online, offline. All you need to do is read the Word of God and get to know Jesus. That's where everything is. And if you do that, you'll see that secrets and lies are bad. You'll see that secrets and lies are not what a believer in Christ does. And you'll also see that secrets and lies have destroyed lots of lives. Just like when Adam lied to God. When God came in, he asked Adam, where are you? Adam came out, and then he lied to God, saying that Eve told me to eat the apple, trying to blame it on her, basically. And then, Eve sat there and blamed it on the snake. But they were both lying. They weren't taking responsibility for it. They were trying to put it off on somebody else, saying, well, it's his fault, it's his fault. Where then it was all their faults. It was both their faults. Eve for eating the apple first, then she gave it to Adam, then Adam ate from it too. Both of them had a chance to not do it, but they did. And what happened was they lied to God about it. He already knew what was going on, but they lied to him anyway. It's like God knows all, yet you still lie. And you think that's okay. Because that's the flesh right there. That's the enemy pushing you, saying it's going to be okay. God will forgive you. But you're going to hurt your relationship with him. Secrets and lies destroy your relationship with God. And when you're married, you don't need to have them at all. And if you have anything you haven't told someone, it's fine up until you ask them to marry you. At that point, they should know everything about you, and maybe a little before that. Because if you spring something on them at the marriage, after the marriage, and it's something that they can't handle or something that you lied about, and then your trust is gone. And then, of course, like I said, you have family, you have friends, you have all these extra external people that are already going to try to destroy your life. Come in there and try to destroy it. Because that's what Satan does. He uses people to his advantage. The way it works is you should have a big circle and then a couple different circles in that circle. In the middle circle, there's God. The couple is on each side of the circle where God is, locked in a room that opens from the inside, which means they're with God first, and then they're with each other. They use each other to get closer to God. They use each other to help with their salvation, but in the end, it's up to each one of them. When they open that door, the next circle has their kids in it. And of course, the kids have a door that opens from the inside too, which goes to the grandparents and your parents. Then there's also a door that opens up into the outside. And then that door has like your friends. And that door opens both ways. You open that up, you have your acquaintances. That also opens both ways. Then you open that door up, and you've got the world. The problem is a lot of people let the world into the places that only lock from the inside. Or when you have secrets and lies, one person in the marriage leave that first room that locks from the inside. And they go out past the kids. They stick where the family is in that area where the doors swing both ways. And then one person's left in there with God by themselves. The family and kids, the kids are left in there if they're around by themselves. The family in most cases too, while one of the two is out in the world doing their thing. So Satan's basically destroyed that circle, destroyed that family. And if anyone's out there doing that, there's going to be secrets and lies. And more than likely, a secret or a lie is what caused the whole situation in the first place. Whether the person lied about how they felt, they lied about wanting to be married, they thought they could handle it and they couldn't, and they just didn't bother to tell the person. Instead of talking it out, they decided to go out there and cheat or find somebody else or try to get the person to leave them. Or do all these things because Satan tempted them with the flesh. Again, Satan is like a roaring lion. He will go out there, he will tempt you, and he will destroy you because he wins those battles mostly. You play Russian roulette not only with your marriage, but with your eternity. Because once stuff like that happens and your life gets destroyed, you can go downhill, go to really dark places. And while God is always there to bring you out of it, no one knows how much time they have. You can't take 20, 30 years to get out of it. Maybe you can only have a week before something happens to you. You're only on this earth for a little bit, but you're in heaven or hell for eternity. Don't waste your eternity or lose it being stupid by lying to people and keeping secrets when you're married and even before that. Because all you're doing is you're allowing Satan either in your marriage bed, in your relationship, in your life, and he's going to destroy you. I hope this message has helped somebody, and I thank you for listening.